Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast is Darkest Timeline. You are stuck with me for the day, I'm afraid, and boy, was I tired. But don't you worry, I'm going to go into great detail as to why that is, and you will find it fascinating. One of those things might not be true. Find out which. Too much stuff. Not material stuff, too much stuff to do is the opener for this one. And then we've got summer holiday activities. Some good, some not so good. TV aplenty. A smidge of a movie, you'll see what I mean. And a couple of computer games, all here in this episode. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Share that one around, people. If you haven't shared a podcast before, maybe this is the one for you. Share it around. People will love it. I'm sure they'll love it. It's me rambling. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, the Darkest Timeline. Oh, how are you doing? Are you well? I hope you are well. I always hope you're well. I hope you are very, very well. Not entirely sure where to start. Let me at the beginning now. I do hope you are well. If you are not doing so well at this point in time, please do feel free to reach out to us here at the podcast. You can do this by going onto our website, thecookiecast.com, clicking the email button, which will auto-populate an email, and then you just have to put hi, and we will get in touch with you. You can also contact us through any of our social medias. We have many. Yes, it's true. We may not update them the way that we're supposed to because of a small social media falling out, which may or may not have been to do with this very podcast and the fact that a certain social media platform said, hey, move your entire podcast to our network, our platform, and you will not regret it. And round about the point in time that we got our podcast moved to that social media network, they went, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Waste of time. We do have social media, and you can contact us using it. If these methods are not the right methods for you, then we do urge that you contact friends and or family. I'm sure they would love to hear from you. And if these options are not right for you, there are services out there that will absolutely speak to you, because it's better that you reach out and speak to somebody than not. So how are you doing? I am experiencing a level of exhaustion that on the official day one of the second week / third week of the holidays, I should not be feeling. And I am quite frankly terrified of what's to come. I don't know if you can hear this, but I also have a very itchy shoulder. I think at some point today I've eaten something that hasn't agreed with me. And I think I'm having some sort of allergic reaction, which is something I'm very used to and have been for many, 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 many years. Yet I don't really deal with it as much these days. So when it happens, it's a bit like, what's this? I'm still trying to get it. So, very tired. Had 4 hours sleep, if that, and then proceeded to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go and do a thing, which we'll get onto. But before that, yes, I apologise if this is audible, but I am itchy. I'm quite itchy. All things itch. I don't know quite what, but I'll try and not. So, a subject I've absolutely talked about before. Definitely talked about before. Already you're thinking, then why the fuck are you talking about it again? Some subjects, I'm like, I don't need to keep banging on. You know, we all know that I hate adverts, etc. Some subjects, I'm like, I feel it's perfectly acceptable to bring things up again and just sort of reiterate, rehash, rewind. Obviously, there is the element that I am tired, so not firing on all cylinders. This podcast is probably going to be a mess. And what's the absolute best? I will forget it immediately, as I'm sure you will too. So, what subjects am I talking to? Talking to? Fuck, it's already begun. What subject am I talking about? And that is too much stuff. Now I know what you're thinking. Material possessions. No. Too much stuff to do. No, I'm not talking about the jobs. I am talking about an example right here. So, I was just about to press record and I was like, oh, I've got this subject to talk about and I know I've talked about it before, so I need to make it fresh and new and whatever. And looking at my desktop that on the computer that I am recording on, I counted very quickly the number of games that I could see that I would consider I am actively playing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This PC doesn't have the level of icons and things that the other PC does, because that is literally halfway across the screen. Most PC users would look at it and have some sort of I don't know, mental breakdown, I guess. It's not a good time. But I'm going to go through some things and see if this sounds familiar. This is an average at the moment. I appreciate that times are different at different times. You know, dark days of winter, very different to the dark days of summer. But let me give you an idea. So this all sparked because I had a new series of a TV show that I've watched pop up when I was going to watch something else. And it was truly the straw that broke the camel's back, because I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, another thing. First world problems, spoilt, all of that, I get it. But I was like, oh, fucking hell. I was like, I got Ghost in the Shell. Me and Leanne are watching Young Sheldon. I've been doing a DC animated movie rewatch. I've got what I will go on. I'll tell you what it was. It was the new series, The Caped Crusader. Batman: The Caped Crusader appeared on Amazon Prime, and I was like, oh, fucking hell. I already know what I'm going to go on to after me and Leanne finish Young Sheldon. So that's already lined up. And it just started from there, this trickle effect of, new Spider-Man came out in the last week. It's done $1 billion already. People are clearly starved for Marvel to do something that they actually want to watch, which seems to be a bit of a novelty for Marvel at the moment. Having watched some of the last few Marvel outings and them being ranging from fine to one maybe of the worst films I've ever seen, I I think it was probably long overdue that Marvel actually put out something that people wanted to see. So I was like, oh, the new Spider-Man. I was like, does my eldest want to see the new Spider-Man? Do I want to see the new Spider-Man? Have I got time to see this new Spider-Man? Because, we've got all these other films that we need to watch and all that. And then it was like, okay, that then led on to like games. And I was like, oh, I haven't played any VR in ages because it's been too warm to play VR, but I'd really like to get back to playing some VR. And when the weather gets a bit cooler, then I'll look at getting some VR. But before that, if it just on PC games alone, I've got Stellar Blade, and I've got, and it was just that. And then I was like, and obviously now I'm playing not one but two PlayStation games. So I've got Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I've got Resident Evil 9 Requiem. But obviously got all the kids this week, so me and my eldest need to play some DC Universe. Got to get that character all the way up to the level cap, and like I say, it's almost the definition of first world problems. It's very much in that camp of my wallet's too small for my 50s and my diamond shoes are too tight, to quote Friends. But taking a minute and just going, this is part of the reason that I was about to say, this is part of the reason why everything's so bad at the moment. And that is kind of what I mean, but at the same time, it isn't what I mean. I don't mean, oh, we've got so much stuff. Isn't that awful? I always do that. Is it not just all a distraction from how awful real world problems are? Oh no, I've got too many games to play, stops me from turning the news on or reading a newspaper at any point and going, well, things are pretty much as bad as they could possibly be. I'm sure they'll be worse tomorrow, though. I had this conversation with Sam the other day, and I was like, let me put this to you. We've already been told that the new PlayStation, whenever it comes out, will be £1,000. I believe the Xbox has just had another price hike of something like 170. I couldn't get into the article I was sent, so let me just Xbox price increase is the second. Microsoft has implemented a massive worldwide price increase for Xbox Series X and S consoles effective August the 1st, so 2 days ago. Prices surged by up to 43%, pushing the flagship Series X to $800, which is $669.99 and €800. As I said to the person that sent me this, which was Sam, nobody was buying fucking Xboxes before this. Who in their right mind is going to pay nearly £700 for an Xbox? Nobody was paying £500 for an Xbox. I was like, so we've been told next PlayStation's £1,000. I personally believe that at £1,000 mark, a lot of people are going to say, do you know what? One of the things that has been keeping me away from the PC market is the price, knowing that a PC is going to be super expensive. So I'm done with all this console bullshit. If consoles are this expensive, I need to get myself a PC. So I'm going to go and spend the money on a PC. So you do what's called going over the road. So you say, fuck you, Mr. Sony PlayStation. I'm going to go to Mr. PC. And you get over the road and Mr. PC is like, okay, well, £1,000 for RAM, yeah? There's your PlayStation right there. Okay, well, that'll let me play games, yeah? No, that's just one small component for the PC that you need. And I was throwing numbers around, and Sam was like, "You're being ridiculous." And I was like, £5 for a PC. I was like, £5 for a PC is ridiculous. I was like, today it is. When the PlayStation comes out at £1,000, is it going to be a ridiculous price then? So I was laying all this groundwork. I was saying, like, look, this is this, and this is that, and this is the other. I was like, and I think it's all done on purpose. I think what the console industry are saying is, we know you can't get it cheaper elsewhere. You can't go over the road and get a cheaper product. So we're going to charge basically what we want. I believe the reason that is the way it is because of PC components being priced as high as they are. And I think that's done by design because of I think it's just one big circle. And I think ultimately the losers in all this is, as always, us, the consumer. And there is nothing but winners on the other side of the table. See, other side of the road, other side of the table. But coming back to what I was saying, at the point in time that I had to pick between 3 different things to put on when I got on the treadmill, and couldn't decide which was a higher priority, a new TV series from a TV series that the first series I very much enjoyed, well, it's got to be a top priority. It's my man, it's my guy, it's my dude, it's my Batman. So surely it's got to be that. Well, yeah, but you're 4 episodes into Ghost in the Shell, so need to continue with that, don't you? Because it's a new episode. But I'm halfway through that DC movie that I was watching, and I'm halfway through it. This is the definition of first world problems. It's just, I think I'm just trying to highlight how exhausting it all is. You've got I got the thing with the kids where it's like, okay, this child went to see the new Minions movie, so these guys didn't see it, but this one probably doesn't want to, but these guys do, so we need to get them to see it because the other ones are seeing it. We have to go see Moana, even though we pay for Disney Plus. We've got to go get all of that done so that we're ready to go, I imagine, gonna guess, to see the new Paw Patrol movie. And what was the one that was straight after that? There's one straight after that. And then when we went to the cinema, all the trailers are there, and everything between now and the end of the year looks great. There's also some proper bangers coming out for the kids, and I'm like, it's too much. We need to just slow down. Just take a breath. Take a minute. Oh, I was watching that freaking chain-smoking cat thing. I haven't gone back to it because I don't physically have the time, and I get it. Father of 4. Exercise. A large chunk of the time. Full-time job. Podcasting. All these dimensions take away from, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play computer games. I'm going to sit down and watch a movie. I'm going to sit down, blah, 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 blah. I get it. I am not the target audience. The target audience is I genuinely don't know. Who is the target audience? Everybody and nobody all at the same time? I don't get it. Like I say, official week 3 of the summer holidays. Week 2 in our house because we've got all the children and I'm on holiday. Holidays, I use that in the loosest term because I am exhausted already. It's Monday. I actually considered saving this and doing it tomorrow, and was like, I can't, because if I don't, and I don't get a chance tomorrow, I am just behind at that point in time. You need a little drink. So, Saturday, always kind of familiar, should I say. So, I do what I do first thing in the morning, and then the older two come, and there's usually like a climbing situation, unless there's like parties and stuff going on, and then it's basically kind of like a slide to tea time. Yes, I know it's a bit of a jump, but it's basically what it is. Probably stick a movie on in the afternoon, get everybody nice and sort of calm and level-headed, etc. That is Saturday done. I wanted to kind of hit the ground running where Sunday's concerned. Sunday has the potential to be what I would consider a fucking shit show. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that kind of hurry up and wait is kind of thing where you're like, oh, I should be doing something, but I'm not doing something. But does that mean I should be doing something? Am I doing something? Is doing nothing doing something? That kind of thing. For an entire day, and then you go back to work and wonder where your weekend went. So I was like, right, I want to get something locked in. A couple of weeks ago, we went and the girls did some pot painting thing, and in theory, those pots were going to be ready. So I was like, well, we can go and pick those up. That probably ticks some boxes, but I want something else. So off Leanne goes in a little what's the word? Come on, brain. Hunter-gatherer type thing. Let's go with that. To find us an activity, and find us an activity she did. Here in York, we have variety of different types of heritage. One of them is chocolate. There's a lot of chocolate history in York. Anybody that knows, Terry's Chocolate Orange, Rowntree's, and all of those good things. I believe now all that's left is Nestle and, probably the less said about that, the better. So, in York, we have some deep chocolate history. And because of that, we have a chocolate place. It's called The Chocolate Story. And you can go learn about the history of chocolate, especially chocolate in York. Leon's like, hey, we've got this thing, and get some tickets. Away you go. I'm like, that sounds perfect. We go, we're a bit early, we get a drink. That's a disaster on my part. I didn't really think about the time. I was like, we've got 20 minutes to go, let's go get a drink. 10 minutes later, we've got a drink. Didn't think this one through. So off we go to the Chocolate Story, which is just over the road. And in we go. Hi, we've got tickets booked for this time. Sure, come on in. And that's what we did. At this point in time, I want to highlight 3 times. Twice while we were there, and once since going, I've been asked for feedback. They said that feedback is a very big thing for them. They would very much like feedback. A lot of names were thrown out. I'm so-and-so, and I'm this person, and blah, blah, blah. And if you've got feedback, give us feedback. We love feedback. And I said to Leon, I was like, they don't want my feedback. That's not necessarily true, because I was affected by the situation, I would say. And this is going to get into a bit of a grey area, a little bit of a muddy situation. It was a little bit of a column A and a little bit of a column B situation. Let's find out why, shall we? So, we get there, there's a lift, I will highlight this. This building used to be a toy shop that I used to get toys from, and it was a toy shop for many, many years, and then it was closed for a long time, and then it was the Chocolate Story. So they were like, go in the lift, press the button, job done. We were like, cool. We go in the lift, press the button, job done. I will say this: we were a little delayed, and it was our fault. We had a drink spillage. Straight off the bat. Long story, not going to go into it. The drink spillage was made worse by the fact that I thought it was a spillage. Turned out the receptacle was broken. So receptacle had to be replaced, and we were then in the lift. But we were late. And I think the rest of the group were waiting for us. So I think there was a little bit of an issue there. We go in, we spread out, and we get started. And straight off the bat, I am I don't know. The problem I've got is I don't know how to describe it. The guy running the tour. Let me get this out of the front. The guy running the tour was very good at running the tour. Was very good at. I need to say these words at this particular point in time. I need to say my jokes that nobody will laugh at, and I need to do the things I need to do when I need to do them. It's very much one of those places. There's like a lot of interaction with certain aspects. So, I think to do a job like that, you need to have a certain sort of mind, in the sense that essentially you're reading a script with no script. You don't have it in front of you. You're remembering all this, so you have to do it in a certain way, and you have to relay the information in a certain way. And I think to be able to do that, you have to be a certain type of person. And I think to do that job and do it X number of times a day, over and over and over and over again, must be fucking mind-numbing. The number of times in that building I thought, this must be fucking soul-destroying. Saying the same words to the same groups of people all day, every day, many times a day, must be absolutely soul-destroying. So I kind of felt for the guy. I was like, this must be the fucking worst. But clearly enjoyed it, clearly enjoyed relaying the information. I would say clearly the kind of person that would enjoy relaying the information. And I'll leave that one there. It wasn't a huge group of people. Not a massive group of people. And I will say this, when they said, has anybody got any dietary requirements? I went, oh shit, yeah, we do. I was like, vegetarians over here. And later in the talk, they were like, oh, by the way, these don't have any gelatin in, so you are perfectly fine to eat them. And I was like, well, that's great. Thank you very much for letting me know. And thank you very much for making that accommodation. And that's brilliant. I think that's great. There was points where there was like, oh, one of the people here is a vegan, and we've accommodated for that because there's no milk in this product, and so on and so forth. That side of things, great. Our group, not huge. I think they did a head count. There was 18 people. Of the 18 people, we made up 4. So scratch 4 straight off. Now, I can't account for the other 14 people. It's not my job to account for the other 14 people. And what I would say is, when you are dealing with 14 people, you're going to have a variety of different people. So you've got the situation right at the start where somebody is holding their phone and it looks a lot like they're filming. They're filming the talk, they're filming the conversation, filming whatever. And the guy's like, are you filming? And they were like, no, we're just taking a picture. Okay, I mean, that's clearly a lie. You are absolutely filming. You're holding the phone in the way that you would film somebody. You are clearly filming, and you have lied as two fully grown, and I mean fully grown, older than me, fully grown human adults. The guy's like, now I know you've just lied to my face. There's not a lot I can do about that, though, is there? So, I'm going to have to make a comment on the fact that obviously you can't film, and for me personally, I don't want you to film, so that's sort of kind of under the radar said. So there you go. There's, of your 14, 2 people right there. You've got a big family. There's bigger than our family. Mixture of, like I say, one of these was vegan. You would have never known this, though, because they never mentioned it. Oh, no, that's right. They were vegan, so they mentioned it every 4.8 seconds. Do you know how often I mentioned that we were 3 vegetarians? When we were asked, has anybody got any specific dietary requirements? Yes, we are vegetarian. That's the only time I mentioned being vegetarian. So much so that they had to tell me that some of the things didn't have gelatin in, so we're fine for vegetarians. And I was like, I didn't even think about that. There you go. But yeah, you've got the. Apparently, there was a vegan there. I don't know if you heard, because yeah, they said it at every single available opportunity. And if it wasn't the vegan, it was the, I'm guessing, mother of the vegan, and it was every single point in time. Like, there were points it got mentioned that I couldn't see how it even fit into what was happening. Still got mentioned though, didn't it? So you got this big family, and that takes up X number of people. So we went down to 14 people. Let's take it down to 8. How about that? So we're down to 8. 8 people left. You've got a older couple. What I'd say is older. By older, I mean older than me. What I would have called a middle-aged person, until I realised that I'm middle-aged, so that means that these are older people, I guess. I guess that's how that categorization works. 2 of those, now we're down to 6. The 6 people that are left. Again, another family. Of that family, I would say you've got 50%. So let's call that 3. 50%, 3. 3 of the 6. Seemed fairly normal. Young lad. He was doing it all. He was getting involved, getting stuck in, doing the lot. Great. Fantastic. Wonderful. The other 50% fall into the category of one of them, and I will say this much, one of them, I would say probably had some additional needs. Okay? There we go. One of them probably had some additional needs. And because of that, that seemed to translate to everybody's got additional needs of those 3 people. And the tour was for those 3 people. And the only people there were those 3 people. And it was 3.5 minutes into the tour before the guy running the tour and this small group of people started butting heads. 3.5 minutes in, he's done his spiel, he's done whatever, and either they've been before, which I think was a possibility, maybe quite likely, they seemed like they'd been before, or they just seemed to know a lot about chocolate and everything that was coming. As one of them proceeds to rattle off all the stuff that's coming next, and the guy's like, yeah, we're gonna get to that next. And I'm like, do you guys know each other? Do you know that these people have been before and these people are gonna ruin it for everyone else? 'Cause you don't seem happy about this situation at all. So there was just this through the entire tour. The tour is 1 hour and 15 minutes. Wonderful time was had by all. I mean, those 3 people and nobody else, not even the guy running the tour. It was exhausting. And I, being me, I'm like, I just want the girls to enjoy it. I want them to learn something. I want them to have a wonderful time. There's free chocolate throughout. You get like a little bit of chocolate and like different ways to taste the chocolate, and you can look at chocolate and you can make chocolate and you can get free chocolate, and there's chocolate at various points in time. And there's a lot of information and it's very interesting and there's a lot of interactive stuff and all of that's great. The additional parts to our tour, I could have really done without. I could have done without the guy who was running the tour having issues and problems and whatever with this small group of people. I could have done without the small group of people being like, we're literally just here so that we can enjoy it, let's say. I was going to say so that we're here to ruin it for everyone else. That's not necessarily the vibe that was coming across. The vibe that was coming across was we are just here to enjoy it for ourselves. And we don't care if anyone else enjoys it at all. So there was that. By the end, we entered the gift shop, as with all these things. They're like, oh, if you buy anything from the gift shop, show them your wristband, you get 10%. I showed them my wristband. I did not get 10%. I walked out with a head full of knowledge, a bag full of chocolate, and yeah, like I say, they asked for feedback twice while we were there, and then I got an email. Oh, we'd love your feedback. I was like, I don't think you would, because my feedback would be some aspects of it were nice, other aspects were not. Anyway, that was one of our holiday days. It was enjoyable. Under other circumstances, I believe it would have been enjoyable. It was just a little bit much, and I will say this: it's not cheap. But then again, what is? Today, so that was Sunday. Today's Monday. Well, what could we have possibly fit in today? As I alluded to, 4 hours sleep. Why? Well, I was fixing my watch at 2 o'clock in the morning. Not my watch, I was fixing the strap. The strap is broken, and I keep trying to fix it in a variety of different ways, mostly just by squishing it together and hoping for the best. Knowing full well that at some point it's going to proper break in the worst possible way. Anywho, 2 o'clock this morning, I'm fixing a watch. 6 o'clock this morning, I'm getting out of bed, and I know what you're thinking. Why the hell would you do that on a Monday morning? Well, I'd send a good friend of mine a text message this evening that said, I owe you an apology. This apology is probably 25 years too late. So, probably not that much, but 20 years, let's say. I was like, look, I got up really early, took the kids to the beach. And you were right all those years ago. Well, what was my good friend right about? Got up at 6, got showered, got the kids up at 6:30, told them night before, pack your bags. Get the fuck... No, pack your bags. You need beach stuff is the short version. I'm not going to list it. Swimming costume, change clothes, towel, Crocs, etc. Pack your bags. Be rock and roll ready, 6:30 in the morning. I want you up, dressed, and out the door for 7. I wanted to be on the road for 7. I did one of those things where, for the first time ever, I fully charged the car. And I kind of wish I hadn't, because it told me just how few miles I can have on my ar. And I went, cool, I guess we'll never go anywhere further than about 50 miles away. Anyway, different story. We get in the car, a fully charged car, and away we go. And I'm like, right, let's go. Where do you want to go? Lol. And off we went. Reason being, I had a plan. And that plan involved getting to the beach early doors. So early, in fact, that most things weren't open. Perfect. We stopped off, got some breakfast, because I wanted breakfast on the beach. And that, ladies and gents, is what we did. We took a little stop, little detour on the way to the beach, and got some breakfast. Then we got back in the car, set the sat-nav. Sat-nav's like, hey, you know that way that you normally go? We're going a different way today. And I went, you know what? I'm feeling fruity. Go on then. And it was a better way, quite frankly. We got parked, got a ticket, put the ticket on the car, and away we went. And we were on the beach just after 8 o'clock, and we were one of 3 families on the beach. The tide was in at that point in time, so you've got like a slither of sand, and we set up shop, and that was us. Those guys ate breakfast. I'm like, there's your breakfast. Away you go. They ate their breakfast. We moved so that the crumbs that we left behind could be there for the seagulls, and then it was into the sea. Everybody in the sea, including the big man. Got my tootsies in the sea. Couple of hours on the beach, and then away we go. Ice cream. I can't talk about the ice cream situation. It's not good. You used to be able to get a foot long, not the sandwich. No, the ice cream. It was a giant ice cream. You can no longer get that ice cream. It is a crime. Quite frankly, it's a crime against humanity. Anyway, we got ice creams. We hit the 2p machines. We got teddy bears. We got almost a meltdown. Not quite a meltdown. Almost a meltdown. From, surprisingly, of all the children I took with me, my eldest spent nearly £5 trying to win a tiny potato. A positive potato. Little crochet potato person. And I was on a claw machine, and I tried to tell her, I was like, you are never going to get it. But she kept pumping pound coin after pound coin after pound coin in, and did not get the positive potato. A couple of side notes. One, genuine thought we were going to have like a full-on problem. But managed to sort of salvage it by saying, why don't you ever go on this claw machine, because this one is a definite win and we need something for your brother to take home. So that kind of righted the boat. Also, I had an ace up the sleeve, because we were not staying at the beach. I'll get to that in a second. Also, second side note, somebody might have come home, gone, this is a problem, gone onto the old internet and maybe purchased a positive potato, and that may arrive at our house tomorrow. Mum's the word. Shh. Anyway, away we go. We're off. Claw machines, done. 2p machines, done. Ice creams consumed. To the car. I'm like, right, you guys, it's lunchtime. Yes, I know, normally ice cream in the afternoon, but we were on a time scale. Why? Well, in the car. 9-minute journey. That's not far. We drive off down the coast, round all the bends, do a bit of a lefty-righty type thing, down a hill to arrive at the Sea Life Centre. Never been to the Sea Life Centre before. I've been to the Deep. Haven't been to the Sea Life Centre before. Yet again, one of those situations. Managed to get some tickets. Managed to get, I want to say cheaper tickets. That might not be true. Anyway, tickets were bought. And off we go. And I'm like, these places, you basically got a 50-50 on this. You have basically got a 50-50. One, yes, that place is great. It's fine. It's perfectly acceptable. I would go again. And that is enough. The other is, that was shit. I'm never going back. And until you've been, you'll never know. So, here we go. Got parked, nicely parked. Had to pay for parking, and it wasn't fucking cheap. Anyway, in we go. They're like, have you been before? I'm like, nope. No, okay, you go that way. Use the toilet before you go, because they're the only toilets. I was like, that doesn't sound good. And they're like, and just basically follow it round. I was like, okay, here we go. Let's follow it round. Let's see. And you go through these double doors. Deceptive is what me and my eldest came up with, because that building from the outside is tiny. You get in there, they've got it all. Sharks, the manta rays, stingray, whatever. Sharks, as soon as you get in there. Honestly, they've got it all. The fact that it's a Sea Life Centre and you're there going, why am I looking at a snake or a chameleon or that sort of thing? You're a bit like, eh? But anyway, they've got a seal hospital. They've got an otter sanctuary, which they had to hold me back because I was going over to go and get me an otter. I want an otter. I think my life might actually finally be complete if I get an otter as a friend. I mean, a pet. They're just, they're just the best. The little hands. They've got the little hands and they can hold things. It's like a human hand, but it's small. Also, webbed, apparently. We saw all of these things. There was a tiny little park. We went to see the penguins. There was some gnarly looking penguins. They did not look well. But there was a couple of good looking ones. The seals, sea lions, obviously they know which way the bread's buttered. They were very much like, look at me. Did not know this. This might be one of those that I'm going to come off as really stupid right now. Didn't know. But on their like feet, flipper things, they have toenails. And it was really weird to see. I was like, why have you got toenails? That's a bit gross. Why have you got toenails? I don't like that. It's a bit creepy. It's a bit weird. Why would you have toenails? And then I was like, does somebody have to cut their nails? Like, they're in captivity, so does somebody have to cut their nails? What I will say is this: about two-thirds of the way around, I hit a bit of a wall and started flagging heavily. I was like, shit. This is a problem because we're kind of getting towards the back end of being here, but I am in a bad way and I'm not going to make it, blah, 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 blah. The kids seem to also hit a bit of a wall. My eldest was like, I need to sleep. My middle daughter was very much like, just slumped against the wall. My youngest daughter, bless her, she was just cracking on. Good on her. She told us that she was going to lead us back all the way through to get back to where we needed to be. And I said, great, you're going the wrong way. And then we just counted up how many times she went the wrong way. And it was hilarious. 5. However, she did finally get us back to where we needed to be. And I said, I would like a bottle of water, please. And they said, that's £2.75. £2.75 for water. What is going on? It's water. It falls out of the sky. Oh God. Anyway, got back in the car. And that was us done. We drove back to York. We brought gifts home for those that didn't go. We got back, and then it was just a slow meander to tea time at that point. The girls watched a couple 2-3 episodes of My Adventures with Superman, and that was basically that. I am next level exhausted. I think I might have fallen asleep whilst trying to remember the word for exhausted. So, let's finish this bad boy up. As I alluded to, I have watched episode 4 of Ghost in the Shell. Not gonna lie, not the best episode. Also not gonna lie, at this point in time with my idling brain, I can't quite remember anything. How do I get into there? There it is. Go in here. Quickly, catch your monkey. And then, where's the pig in? Oh, this is the problem with this. Oh wow, it says there's a new episode. But is that just episode 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Episode 4. Oh, yeah, another one of those where the first half of the episode was about killer robots. It was alright. I like looking at it. It's very pretty. It's a very pretty program. But sometimes you do wonder, it's like, really, this was the choice you went with? You really felt we needed to see and know this? I have watched the first 2 episodes of Batman the Cape Crusader Series 2, episode 1 and 2. Few things I want to highlight from this. Number 1, it's quite violent, especially if you compare it to like Batman the Animated Series, which it absolutely would be compared to. It's done by Bruce Timm for a start, produced by J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves of the Batman fame. Some of the things that are interesting, some of the things that are a bit like, they've very much gone with that kind of, what I would say, like, I think it's like the 50s or the 20s. I can't really work it out. Like what would be like the gangster era style technology sort of thing. Interesting choice. Not sure how I feel about it. I would also say I'm pretty sure I highlighted this in the first series, that it's a bit odd. Some other things. The Riddler is in this series, but the Riddler is just a generic gangster. They've done here's the Mad Hatter, who's a woman, that sort of thing. What they have done is that they're drip feeding the Joker into the series, which honestly has been one of the nice sorts out of it, because it's quite sinister the way they're sort of leading him into the series. And episode 1 ended with this series on Batman the Caped Crusader, so it gave an idea of what was coming, and it does seem to sort of lead quite heavily into the Joker stuff, and it does seem to be sort of like I say, quite sinister stuff. It's kind of interesting from a Batman cartoon. So gonna stick with it. Me and Leanne have nearly finished Young Sheldon. Obviously, no Young Sheldon watching going on this week, but I'm pretty sure we had not many episodes left. Is what I would say. It's a bit of a much of a muchness at this point in time. I do have a film. I do have a caveat for that film. The way things are at the moment, I find it very difficult to just sit down. I feel like, honestly, holding my hands up, I feel like I'm neglecting others. If for example, if I sit down with my eldest to watch a movie, I feel like I'm neglecting all of my other children. So I don't feel like I can. So then I'm like, oh, well, I'll go and see what they're doing. And then, I'm going to see what he's doing. Or, I'll have a conversation with Leanne, and then I'll go back and watch a bit of the movie. And I really did try to sit down with my eldest because she was going to watch Supergirl. I paid a lot of money for us to watch it. Long story, which I won't go into now, but I did pay full whack to be able to watch it at home. Mostly because I actually considered it a money saving in the end, because we would have gone to see it at the IMAX, which would have cost 30 quid. So kind of saved money in that sense. I did not see every single minute of Supergirl, and I don't know how much that would affect my review. I know that sounds strange, but it was. I felt the entirety of this film was covered off by what Superman says in Superman when he says, "Oh, she likes to go to planets that have got red suns and get drunk." There you go. There's Supergirl the movie. If you've seen a trailer, if you have any interest in it at all, you know what that film's about. The trailers tell you. Lobo's in it. The fact that Jason Momoa has basically now got a career where he doesn't have to do anything towards working out, and they'll just put him in a muscle suit and pay him probably a lot of money. Good on him. Good, nice work if you can get it. So, what can I say? Like I say, the stuff in Superman, that one bit that he said in Superman at the end is Supergirl. For the entirety of it, up to a point, it is just her going to different planets and getting pissed. There's a young girl, her family have been murdered, and this is something that I do want to highlight. There is a bad guy. I think he is just a bad guy, like a genuine, bad person. And that bad person does bad things, which is mostly just murdering a load of people. And they don't really wrap it in anything other than this is a bad guy who does bad things, and those bad things are murdering people. So you've got that, which I was kind of intrigued. Well, I was like, interesting. After the whole Man of Steel, Superman doesn't kill debate, I thought it was interesting that there was a lot of killings left, right, and centre. Now, obviously, when you're talking about a villain, well, in Superman, Lex Luthor kills somebody on screen. I'll leave that there, let's say. I feel that it's not even a grey area. Yeah, definitely something happened in this film that I don't think that's okay. Like at all. But whatevs, bro. Going back to the lack of time or anything to play computer games, I have played a tiny little bit of Resident Evil. I've been playing it with Leanne, which has restricted how much I'm able to play. It's a real mixed bag. Short version is, whenever you're playing as Leon, game's great. Game's fantastic. It's got some great gameplay mechanics. It is a top-notch game. Any other time, it's got fairly major drawbacks. Those drawbacks seem to be intentional. Doesn't stop it being fucking annoying. I wish they'd have done do you want this as 2 separate games that somehow are linked together? If the answer is yes, great. But I think they knew that nobody would have played Grace's side of things if that had been the case. So, yeah. I will hold my hands up on this one. I have played quite a lot of Black Flag. I don't know what to tell you. There's a part of me that didn't want to. I was like, this game's rubbish. It used to be amazing. This is rubbish. But I really kind of found a groove with it. And they've added a lot of new missions. And those new missions, rather than feeling forced, they feel right. Like they should have been there from the start. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I wasn't, but I am, and I keep playing it. Which, as I alluded to earlier, means I'm not playing other things. So there you go. I will apologise profusely right now if this was just me rambling and none of the words made any sense. But as I said, I'm quite tired. And on that, I will leave it there. So, yeah. So there you go. What do you think of that? Another one done, another one gone. I already apologised for being ridiculously tired in that one, but I'll apologise again. I am very sorry. Sometimes, life gets in the way. Big thank you for watching, big thank you for listening, big thank you for being here. Before you leave us, do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review, you can leave a review. Check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we have social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with us. That is it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
This is a Cookie Cast production.